what is it that gives an image that timeless feel, you know? Or how can a simple photograph pack such an emotional punch without saying a word? Today, we're diving deep into exactly that. We're looking at photography, specifically the enduring power, the real magic of black and white. Our goal here is to unpack some key insights from some really compelling material that explores the art, the techniques behind these amazing images. Think of this as a shortcut, maybe, to understanding why some pictures just hit different, you know, giving you those aha moments about visual storytelling.
Absolutely. And hopefully by the end of our chat, you'll actually start to, well, see the world a bit differently. What's fascinating about the source material is its unique take on how we capture time and emotion through a lens. It's not just what you see, it's what you feel.
Yeah, that's a great starting point. So let's dig into how our exploration defines photography itself. It's clearly presented as much more than just clicking a button. It's described as capturing time, even freezing a moment or bottling emotion, which is quite poetic, isn't it?
It really is.
Think of it like a universal language, a language without words. It uses light, shadow, memory, and it speaks to everyone, everywhere.
And if you think about it, that makes photography essentially about storytelling. It's truly, as the material puts it, the art of observation. A single frame, just one picture, can somehow bypass all our logic and just, speak directly to the heart. It can convey really complex things: joy, sorrow, struggle, peace. Think about maybe a child laughing in the streets of Kolkata or a vast desert sunset over Rajasthan. These aren't just pretty pictures. They connect us, they make us think, they help us remember.
That power to connect so deeply, it's really something. And our material suggests there's one particular form that maybe takes this even further. And this is where it's really interesting, I think. The eternally profound nature of black and white photography. The idea is that it strips away distraction. It actually removes the noise of color. It's like peeling back a layer.
Exactly. And what's left bare is, well, it's often the truth of emotion. It reveals the underlying structure of light, the raw essence of whatever you're looking at. And when you take away color, you inherently remove bias.
What do you mean by bias exactly?
Well, think about it. A bright red jacket in a color photo might grab your eye immediately, right? Maybe pulling focus from the person's expression. In black and white, that automatic visual pull is gone. Your eye can focus purely on form, on texture, on contrast. The fundamentals.
Right, so you gain depth instead. It says here in black and white, every detail is amplified. Suddenly, every story becomes more poetic, and even every silence becomes more powerful. The examples given are quite striking. A wrinkle on an old woman's face, or the silhouette of a tree against a foggy sky, or even the eyes of a child looking out a crane window.
Yeah, those really hit home. They're not just images, they feel like distilled emotion. And this is exactly what the masters, people like Ansel Adams and Sebastian Salgado, understood so well. They used black and white not just because it looked cool, but as a way to turn simple scenes into eternal art. They knew that key principle. Sometimes less is more, and in limitation, there is power.
That's a powerful idea itself, limitation creating power.
Definitely. And it shows that sometimes by setting boundaries, by choosing simplicity, you can actually achieve something deeper, more resonant. Their work really proves that.
So if less is more, what about now, today? In this world absolutely saturated with vibrant, oversaturated digital filters, why does black and white still feel so relevant, so important?
Well, I think it reminds us of timelessness.
Yeah.
It acts almost like a bridge between generations.
Yeah.
You can put a black and white photo from, say, 1920 right next to one taken yesterday, and somehow they speak the same language. It just cuts through trends.
So it's not old-fashioned, it's classic.
Exactly. Classic is the perfect word. And that classic style embodies something that maybe modern photography sometimes forgets. Things like patience, intention, and emotion.
Patience and intention.
Yeah. And that raises a really good question for all of us, I think. What do we actually gain when we slow down? When we're more deliberate in how we look at the world, whether we have a camera or not?
That's a fantastic question. And it leads us nicely into the more practical stuff. Because as the material points out, black and white isn't just hitting a button on your phone or computer, it's truly an art and a skill.
Yeah.
So let's unpack some of those key techniques.
Okay, absolutely. First up, understand light and shadow. This is fundamental. In color, a bright yellow might dominate the scene, but in black and white, it's all about the light itself, its direction, its quality, That's everything. You genuinely have to learn to see in black and white, to notice how strong light creates those dramatic shadows, how it sculpts a face, or how soft light emphasizes texture.
Okay, seeing in black and white. And building on light and shadow, our source talks a lot about contrast.
Yes, contrast is what gives black and white its punch. You really need to actively look for those tonal differences. The deep blacks, the bright whites, and all the grays in between. High contrast, that creates drama, energy. Low contrast gives you softness, maybe more gentle mood.
And you can influence this even before editing.
Oh yeah, definitely. Even using old school colored lens filters when shooting like a red filter can make a blue sky go almost black, really boosting that contrast dramatically. It's about thinking ahead.
Interesting. Okay, and without color, you mentioned texture earlier. That becomes huge, right?
Absolutely huge. Without color, texture tells your story. Suddenly, every surface matters. You start paying attention to the grain in weathered wood, the cracked walls, the smoothness of skin, rough fabric. These details become vital for conveying feeling.
Makes sense. And then there's composition, always important, but maybe even more so here.
Yes, composition is king. The material is very clear on this. In black and white, strong composition becomes even more crucial because you don't have color to lean on. You're relying on form, on line. So you need to think carefully about using things like leading lines to draw the viewer in, or finding symmetry, or using negative space effectively to make your subject really stand out.
Right, giving it room to breathe.
Exactly.
Okay, and finally, a really practical tip that sounds crucial for getting good results. Shoot in RAW and convert thoughtfully.
Oh, this is essential, especially if you're serious about quality. So RAW isn't like a regular JPEG. It's a file format that captures all the data from your camera's sensor, unprocessed.
More information to work with?
Tons more. So always shoot in RAW to preserve details. It gives you maximum flexibility later. Then you don't just slap on a filter, you thoughtfully convert it in post-processing. This often means adjusting individual color channels after you've made it grayscale.
So you can fine-tune the tones.
Precisely. You can decide to make the reds lighter or the blues darker to control your gray tones and contrast deliberately. That's where the real artistry comes in, you know, beyond just the initial shot.
Okay, so wrapping this up, what's the big takeaway here? For anyone listening, whether they're a pro photographer or just, taking snaps on their phone, I think the core lesson we pulled from this deep dive is pretty profound. It seems photography, especially black and white, teaches us a valuable lesson: to slow down, to look deeper, and to feel more.
Yeah, and the source material sums it up so beautifully, I think. It says, a color photo shows the world as it is. A black and white photo shows the world as we feel it. That's a really powerful distinction, isn't it? It just shifts your whole perspective on image making.
It really does. So the encouragement here is, whatever gear you have, a phone, a fancy DSLR, doesn't matter. Don't just take photos, make them, feel them, tell stories with them.
And maybe here's a final thought to leave you with, something to mull over after this discussion. How might just trying to intentionally see the world in black and white, even when you don't have a camera, how might that sharpen your perception, your awareness of details, of emotion, of the stories unfolding around you every day? Just reflect on that silent, eternal power we've been talking about. See what new things might jump out at you in your own world.